Hey traders, this is Jeff from ZenTrader.ca, and this update is going to be all about silver. The indicators that I'm using that tells me that we're not at a bottom and where I think that we could potentially go. So this is a weekly view, and it really gives you of silver, and really gives you a broad picture of where the outliers are and where the measurements fit in for the recent pullback that we've seen. I can see why a lot of people think that this is a bottom. I mean, we've got this area of support. Now remember, every time you hit support, it weakens it, and we have been seeing a series of lower highs. So right off the bat, when I look at this chart, I see weakness, even though if you look at it from a big picture, we've been making a series of higher highs. But in the midterm, we're still working off the excesses of 2010, 2011, which were extraordinary as measured by the ADX. And the ADX is an indicator that I use a lot. It's a measurement of the strength of the trend, and above 60 is a pretty strong trend. You can see last time in 2006 went over 60, that was a top. 2008, that was a top, and it took two. This is damn near 80, and so this is really strong. And so the pullback in 2011 saw the ADX go not quite as high, and with the red line on, with the negative DI on top, that means this is a strong downtrend. But when you look at where we're at now, it's kind of pales in comparison to these last couple trends. And so really, this sell-off that we've seen, even though it feels bad, I don't really think it's that bad. I don't think that we've seen the fear that we've come to associate with in what I view as a good buying point for gold and silver. And my opinion is that if you're gonna be buying dips in gold and silver, you want to be buying capitulation type moves. You don't want they don't trade like momentum stocks, in my experience at least. And so I think that, here's the other thing I wanted to talk about, is the RSI. 40 to 80, bull market. 20 to 60 is the range that a bearish market trades in. So you can see here, and this is the other thing, a stair-step movement down here. This is, we've gone from the 80 to the 60 to the 40 range. I fully expect this to go at least down into the overbought range and possibly down to the 20 level. I think that could be ultimately where we bottom, possibly in the teens. I've just seen this time and time again, where there's these segments that the RSI will trade in, and my projection is, I think at the bare minimum we're going to see 2490 on the but I also think that there's an outside chance, and I think it's a pretty good chance. I'd say it's better than 40%, that silver will bottom somewhere between the range of 2015 to 2129. And so if you want to take the low and the high of the ranges that I just offered, I think that we're going to bottom somewhere between $20.15 and $24.90. I think until we get into that range, and I think if we get into that range, you're going to see some panic selling. Another chart that I like to use is the 3-line break chart, which is still the trix is pointing down, where we still have a negative bar, and until this at least goes positive, I wouldn't even be thinking about going long in the metals, because when they move, and they can easily, your stops, whether they're physical or mental, can be taken out very, very quickly. And so play this back, write those numbers down. I think those are the levels that we have to get to before we start to see that capitulation selling.